Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am up first this week and I have Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right. You
Axel
did say you were going to talk about it.
Yeah, I got a chance to check that out. Number one, very surprised that it was actually on Netflix and didn't come out in a movie theater.
Very true.
I am still baffled. I probably should have done some research to figure out why that was the case. Like, how did
Probably
Netflix
Eddie
get it?
Murphy has a contract with Netflix.
I don't know.
Because he just did a movie with them last year.
Oh, yeah, the Christmas
People. No,
movie.
he did
I mean, but he
movie,
did
yeah.
You People. He's done a Christmas
Yeah.
movie. He might. That
have a
might be
contract with
it. Interesting. Yep. So many movies or
Yeah,
deals
exactly.
or whatever. Okay. Like the Obamas and Shonda Rhimes and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Kevin Hart and everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else. Yeah.
So there you go. That's probably it. So one thing I did recognize is that a lot more cursing in this. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't watched
You haven't watched it yet? Yeah. And this Beverly Hills Cop, a lot more cursing, I feel like, than the movie version. So it's almost like because you are on Netflix, you have a lot of free reign.
Yeah.
And like
sure,
the
yeah.
first 20 minutes was F-bombs consistently.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, just something to keep in mind. But I mean, still wildly
Profanity.
entertaining. So,
Yeah.
of course, I can go through the cast. We have Eddie Murphy, of course, as Axel Foley. Bum, 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 bum. Which the name of the song is the same. Okay, then you have the person that I feel like has one of the best names in the world, Judge Reinhold. Don't ask me why. I just love Judge Reinhold. What is it about that name?
I don't
have
know.
no idea. But I just love it. Then ever since the 80s, I have loved the name Judge Reinhold.
Okay.
It's just interesting. Okay. You have John Aston. Oh, well, Eddie Murphy plays Axel Foley. Judge Reinhold plays William something. I forgot what his last name was. Reynolds, something like that. You have Detective Sergeant Johnson is John Aston. You have Eddie Murphy's daughter, which I didn't even remember he had a daughter in the other movies. I can't even remember. But
He has so many kids. I don't know.
not in the movies. In this movie, he
Oh,
only
you
has
meant
one.
like his. I thought you meant like his actual daughter was acting in the movie.
I don't
His daughter
know.
in the movie.
Taylor Page plays his daughter in the movie Jane. You have Bronson Pinchot. Pinchot, however you say it, but you know, Surge, well, I guess everybody came back into their roles, but Bronson is hilarious because I've always loved him from every single thing that he's ever done, and he's just so funny to me, and I don't really know why, because he was the one that was in Perfect Strangers too, remember? We were talking. I thought we were talking about Perfect Strangers, and he's hilarious.
I was talking about the suit. Yeah.
Yep. And then you have Paul Reisner, so he's in it. You have Kevin Bacon is in it as Captain Grant. You have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think that's his name, Bobby Abbott, or Levitt, sorry, Jordan, I can't even get it out, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You have a bunch of people in here, so it's a pretty decent cast for it being, on Netflix as well, but Netflix has all the monies.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so the premise of the show. So it starts off with Axel Foley. He's still in Detroit. He's doing his thing. Like, it seems like he's just like embedded in Detroit. Like, he's got the jacket on and he's driving through the Detroit streets. And the funny thing is that the reason there were so many F-bombs is because as he's going through the streets, everybody's like, F you, Foley. F you, Axel.
Okay.
Like, just people on the street, other cops, just people on the street, like, everything.
Nobody likes Axel
nobody
Foley.
seems to like him there. So anyway, he gets into a scenario where he's not supposed to be at a hockey game, but he is at a hockey game, and he, starts to try to take down somebody, but he wreaks havoc and he destroys stuff, because that was the whole thing from the original one was he was always doing something to cars, running into buildings, doing all this stuff, and just
Causing
creating
the city so much
exactly havoc and destruction. So
money. But he got the job done.
he got the job done. And so one of the things that I noticed very early on is them playing the old school music from the original one. So when you watch this, and I'm trying not to spoil anything anyway, but when you watch it, you'll catch all the old school songs. So it's I'm burning, doing the neutron dance. Remember that?
No.
I know there's a pot of gold for me. The Pointer Sisters? Okay.
No.
All right.
Nope.
Okay,
Before my
then.
time. Before my time.
Was it really?
Maybe so, or maybe I was just a baby.
Yeah, maybe you were just a baby. This is true. Okay.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. So yeah, it was that. It was what was the other song that they had in there that was like, it was, I can't remember it now, but it was all like iconic songs. Of course they play Axel F or Axel Foley, so you hear that. You hear The Heat Is On. The heat is on. Heat is on the street.
I don't know it like that.
The heat is on.
Maybe I don't know. I do remember it. Yes, I do remember that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so I was really getting into it.
You were feeling it.
But it was like nostalgic.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like if you were from that era, you were like, oh my gosh, I forgot about all these songs. So it's funny because the whole time he's in Detroit, almost every time they played a song, it was like the old school songs, right?
Okay.
Then he finds out some things are happening in LA. Mm-hmm. So he's like, his daughter, something's going on there with the storyline. Then his, the Judge Reinhold character, something's going on with him. So he's like, okay, I have to go back to Beverly Hills. So then you're like, oh, here he comes, right? So he's in some beat up, busted up truck driving down the streets of Beverly Hills where everybody's looking at him like, what if? Like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
And why are you here? He's seeing people putting makeup on in their car, men who putting makeup on, and, people who are like their mom has the kid doing all her Instagram photos. So she's not really taking care of the kid. Yeah. It's more like, no, take a picture of me on Rodeo Drive, like that kind of stuff. And so he's just looking and laughing and shaking his head in the whole 9 yards, right? Just being back in Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And then, but when he's in Beverly Hills, I recognize the music changed up. And that's like all the newer kind of cool songs. Other than Axel Foley, they still bring that one in. And occasionally they bring in another older 80s or 90s song. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So anyway, I'm not trying to give too many spoilers, but just to say it did have some laugh out loud moments for me personally. One involved pepper spray that I thought was kind of funny. It doesn't look like he's aged at all. And I don't know how that's possible, but he maybe looks like a little heavier than he was when he was probably in his 30s or whatever. Because what is he, 60 something now, I guess. Yeah. But like all of the stunts and things like that, I felt like compared to Equalizer 3, where I was like, okay, we know Denzel wouldn't be doing this. With these things, I was like, okay, it looks believable that it would be Eddie Murphy, even actually like having a body double that kind of, would look like him if he was utilizing a body double, those kind of things. But I really enjoyed it. I just, would recommend it. I think it's the #1 movie right now for Netflix, which isn't surprising. It came out on July 3rd. And so if you haven't checked it out, then I would just recommend checking out Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And it is... I'm sure it's going to be like a huge draw for Netflix over the next week or so. Because
so on some like live TV, they have, you can watch the original Beverly Hills Cops.
So they're going to have everybody. I think it was 3. And the reason that's so funny is when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Abbott, he is a police officer, and he was like, oh yeah, I've heard you've been in Beverly Hills before. And then he literally said in 80 something, and then again in 90 something. And I think it's exactly when those three movies came out previously. And so he's like, so it's been a while, and I was like, oh, okay, they're just throwing little nods to the old school movies. So, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I really enjoyed it. I hope everybody gets a chance to check it out. So that is on Netflix. What you got, sis?
Okay, I got this documentary that I watched on Netflix.
Okay.
This is ridiculous. It's called The Man with 1,000 Kids.
Oh, I saw the preview come up.
My goodness.
Yeah, because they were like, some people have, they said most people have 2-point-something kids. Yeah. And there was somebody who had 40, which I was like, how did one person have 40 children?
Well, no,
I mean, like a couple.
Yeah,
a couple
it was a woman.
had
It was
40.
a woman. She had a whole bunch of triplets and whole bunch of triplets and twins.
Good
And
gracious.
singles. But yeah, because that was like the 1800s. It was that lady.
Oh, was that when it
1800s.
was? So good gosh, she was very fertile.
Yeah, and then it was like in the 1960s or something like that. There was somebody else who.
Oh, they did a whole bunch of kids. Okay,
Yeah.
well then, so what's going on with Mr. 1000?
Okay, so there's a Dutch YouTuber named Jonathan Meyer. I'm gonna say
Sorry.
Meyer. Jonathan Meyer. He's Dutch, so he's like from Holland.
Okay.
So he is in Holland. He's in the UK, and well, not the UK, but he's in Europe, and he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to become a sperm donor, through this. So you can only do it 25 times
In life, you're supposed to do it 25 times in your life.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the bank will take, because they have a rule overseas that says, hey, you can only donate your sperm 25 times because we want to make sure that you're not going to mess up the generations that come later on.
Okay.
Because, incest would mess up the whole country. Basically.
Yeah.
So he didn't listen. And he went on the website. I can't remember the name of the website. They say it in Dutch, and then they say it again in English. And the website is men on there who are like, I will be your donor. If you want to do it, we can meet up. Do you want me to come to your house? We can.
Oh, like
it's
that?
like an interview. Like, you see my pictures. We can talk, whatever. And then, because of the fact that he had the YouTube channel and everything, so people are seeing him travel and they're seeing all this stuff. They're like, oh man, he's really attractive. He's blue eyes, blonde hair, long blonde hair, kind of wavy, curly, So like everybody was like, oh my God, yeah, I could definitely have kids with him.
Yeah,
It'd be beautiful
it'd be
babies.
beautiful kids. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it makes it kind of messed up, because now he's saying on this website, yeah, I only want to donate to 5 families. I would love to, help out 5 families. And he said that for quite a while.
And
And
it was definitely more than 5.
it was so much more. So some of the ladies actually end up finding out about their donors. Like, oh yeah, you went to a donor? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I went on that website. Wait, your donor's name is what?
Oh, they
Wait, let me see the picture. That's the same donor that I have. And then it's like somebody else comes up and was like, yo, I got the same donor. And then somebody else comes up. And this is all within like a 3-mile radius.
Wow.
Then, so like there's a lot that's into that. There goes into.
So they're like brothers and sisters and all of that don't even know, and like everybody in the same high school.
They're all little kids. They're all like
little kid now.
8, maybe 6, 7, 8, something like that.
So they're not dating each other.
No, they're all just children. But it ends up being a whole thing. There's one part of the show where I was like, I really wish they would have like looked into this more and got some more information, but hopefully it will be a part 2.
Okay.
But that guy was just insane. Like,
so was he just a narcissist who wanted to like just populate the earth,
I
or
think
did they
it was
talk to him? Or
no, they didn't talk to him. But like, so the women who have his children ended up talking to him and asking him questions. Some of the ladies, he actually said, hey, if you want to go ahead and do it the natural way, I have no problem with doing that.
Oh, so he would sleep with them, or he would do it in a cup.
Yeah.
You had your choice. Okay.
Exactly. And it ends up being that sometimes some of the ladies are like, hey, can you still donating? Because, I would like to have another kid and I want my kid to be siblings.
Oh.
Yeah, so that is, okay, that's cute. But then it's like, but now how many, and he said that, it's like, yeah, I do that. I've done 2nd and 3rd kids for people. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then it's like, how many times has he done 2nd and 3rd kids?
Yeah.
So some of these families got together trying to get all this information to figure out some stuff. And they ended up, like, after 400 of them, maybe, they ended up piecing the puzzles together.
Gosh.
They had a couple who ended up finding a way to sue him or to try to figure out if there was something in the justice system that will get back at him. And while he was in court, literally he was talking to the judge. They have the film from him being in court, and he was just like, yeah, well, I mean, the difference is that with other donors, you don't know who the father is. And with me, all of my children will know who their father is. and I will be there for them. And the judge said, how are you going to do that with 600 kids? That's not possible.
Right. How are you going to be there for 600 kids?
How is that even possible?
But they didn't need him to be there. They didn't want him to be there.
No, some of them did want open
adoptions. I mean, not even adoptions. I'm sorry. Open donors. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then that way, if the child wanted to know anything later on in life, then this is the person, you'd be able to reach out to them and you can go ahead and go from there. So that is, kind of cool. But it ends up being, once they took him to court, he ended up having to, they basically said, don't donate anymore or you have to pay money.
Pay money to who?
I guess to the courts.
Oh,
I don't know. But he was traveling so much. The whole time, all he was doing was traveling. So while he's using this donor money, he's going around and traveling and doing his YouTube stuff because he was into Bitcoin and different kind of like life coach type things. So he's doing all of that in different countries while he's also impregnating the women in those countries.
Yeah, of course.
So he has over 600 kids in the world.
So why did they say over 1,000?
I don't know. So that's why I'm thinking it might be a thing. There might be a part 2.
Oh, yeah, because I'm like, well, then he's got over 600. Then why are we false advertising?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you know what? It might have been 600 as of the last time that they'd done all the information with the trial, and then they could have found out, oh, wait, now that all these
people are finding out about it, and there's more.
And there's more coming out of the woodwork because, I mean, he was everywhere. He was in the United States. He was in Mexico. He was in Canada.
So you could literally be watching something and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's the guy who had my baby with."
Yeah,
I didn't realize he had this.
Yeah, he had all this going on. Yeah,
I am just like the women that have been with Nick Cannon.
But basically, but the only thing is that the women were so pissed off. The mothers were so pissed off about this that they were the ones who were reaching out and finding more information. And it's like, hey, if you went on this website and you were trying to find a donor, let me know what your donor is because it might have some information I can give you. And then that just stands out. And then all of a sudden these people are looking into the information and now everybody knows who this guy is. He doesn't do much. He changes his picture up a little bit, but you still got the long blonde hair and you still, you just changed your shirt. You went from a Hawaiian shirt to a suit. That's it. You still look the same, bro. You could have done like a ponytail. You could have, shaved. Well, he did shave his beard and stuff like that and whatever. But you could have definitely looked different if you really wanted to, but you didn't want to.
He wasn't even trying.
He was not trying because he was just living the life. I mean, he was going everywhere. When they showed the little baby pop-up map, because they have a map of Europe and the little baby emojis that are on your phone.
Yeah.
With that little curl in the hair and the big ears, something like that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Those were just popping up on the map everywhere that he was having kids. Oh, wow. And they were on top of each other. Yeah. There are kids that are going to the same school that are siblings.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. When you said a 3-mile radius, then that meant that they could be going to school and decide, oh, that's a cute kid.
Yes.
And want to date when they get older. So the parents need to know these things.
And you know what this man said?
What?
He told the judge, because the judge was like, so what were you thinking as far as when it comes to all of these children that you have fathered, them growing up and knowing things? He was like, well, I mean, what we can do, because after she was like, you can't see 600 kids in a year.
No.
It's not possible. So he was like, what we can do is social media. Everybody has social media, so they can have a little stamp or a sticker that shows that they are all my children. And everybody in the courtroom was like, did this man?
Yes.
He just said social media,
to just have my kids brand themselves with stickers to say that they are mine.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I've gone around and did the most.
Yeah, because I decided to do this. And I mean, when you watch it, there is one point at it that I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can watch this anymore. But I pushed through. Pushed through.
Okay.
And I got it. But there was one part of it, and I was like, this is so messed up. You gotta watch it to know what happened. It's 3 episodes. They're an hour a piece, I believe it is. Maybe 45 minutes a piece. But it breaks everything down. And but
it sounds like it missed something.
It does miss something, but that's what I'm thinking. It might end up being a part 2.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I don't know for sure if it's not a part 2 by next year. Then I will have words with Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I will write them a letter.
A stern letter.
Very stern letter, like white chicks. Dear Royal Hampton Inn. Yes, I will do that. I will do that. But yeah, so it is called The Man with 1,000 Children. It is on Netflix. It's under the documentaries. If you do want to see a good documentary, it is under there. So you'll be able to find it in that category.
Area. And it wasn't that he had 600 baby mamas to have 1,000 kids because some of them doubled up.
No,
it's
it was
truly 600 that they were talking about the 600
Well, he
kids,
said
not-
it was 550. Okay. But the thing is like, you can't go off of what he said because some of the ladies were asking me. He was like, yeah, I have 25 kids. And you ask him later on, he's like, yeah, I have 52 kids. Then you ask him later on, yeah, it's a little over 100 kids. So now the lady's like, so you told me last month 25. You told me this month 50. And now it's, almost 200 kids. Like, I don't understand. And he was like, no, I mean, he's just making
He's just
stuff.
all over the place.
All over the place. But, it was just, it was supposed to be the number of children, not mothers. Because you got to think about it, he had multiple children with the same woman quite a few times.
Okay, got it. Did he have like 3 kids with the same woman or something like that? Or was it mainly just 1 or 2?
It doesn't really go into it, but they talk about how he was saying, yeah, I can help you out with your 2nd or 3rd child or whatever. So,
okay.
But yeah, then the ladies reaching out to him, and one of the ladies was like, it just didn't work. So we were like, yeah, we're not going to push on it. And then they ended up finding out. This is, it's probably for a reason that this didn't work, because now you know that your son has 599 siblings.
599 plus, probably,
plus,
because
exactly.
we don't even know.
Exactly.
We may never know.
That's very true. Ancestry will be going buck wild.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they do Ancestry.com as they get older, and it's going to be like, here are your 600 other siblings that have also done Ancestry.
Yeah, and they were saying that with the
you know what's going to
sperm
happen?
banks.
People are going to be like, "Oh, you're my best friend." Oh my gosh! I mean, like, we have been besties forever. And then they're going to find out that they're siblings, because I've seen that even happen on other shows where it's like 2 girls just like, "Oh my gosh, girl,
yeah, we met in the bathroom at the bar."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then
one
one
of them
the same father.
Yep, 100%, or the same parents, and they just ended up being separated. Because they either were taken away, or one ended up in Florida and one ended up in Texas or something like that. And then bumped into each other.
So I was when I was in the barbershop the other day, I was talking about the show and like telling them like, yo, you need to watch it. And one of the guys in there was like, he's like, you know what? I had something similar to that. He was like, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Mm-hmm. He was like, so I was in college. And he said, I saw this girl. She was cute. He was like, she looked familiar. Yeah. So he was like, she was cute. And then he said, as he started to talk to her more, and then he saw a picture of her mama.
He was like, oh my God.
He was like, that's my dad's side chick. And then he said he just stopped talking to her altogether.
Yeah. And she was probably like, what happened?
And I said, did you tell her? He was like, no, that wasn't for me to tell her.
I mean, but she know who her dad is, I would guess. I don't know. So she just wouldn't know that that's your brother. Yeah. Half brother, whatever.
Yeah, he said he's done it. He's like, yeah, I got sisters all over the place.
My goodness. You got to be careful in these streets.
Yeah, well, people don't care.
Yeah, so. I mean, some don't. Some should.
Yeah, that's very true. But, but yeah, that was it. Was it Man with 1,000 Kids?
Okay, Man with 1,000 Kids on Netflix. All right.
All right, what's your next?
Well, I could go Netflix, but I'm going to go Showtime.
Showtime, okay.
I was like, to get out of the Netflix spiral. But I watched something called ISS.
School suspension.
No.
Oh, I just was in there a lot when I was
young. I was going to say that of all things to think of what ISS could stand for, I don't think I would have thought of in-school suspension, but I digress. Yeah. It stands for the International Space Station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the actual official name of the movie is ISS. It's on Showtime. It came out in 2023. And the cast includes, it's literally only 6 people basically in the cast. That. So it was.
Then you don't have to worry about who are they talking about. And did I miss something? You don't have to worry about that. You got 6 people.
Yep. 100%. So it's Ariana DeBrose, who she's been in a lot of things of late. So she plays Dr. Kara Foster. You have Masha Moskova, who plays Warnika. I don't even think they said.
Masha.
Yeah, exactly. Masha. She plays Veronica. So not Veronica, Veronica with a W. You have Chris Messina. You probably know his face. You know him. You've seen him in a bunch of things. He's just that dude that you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy before, but you don't really recognize his name. But he plays Gordon Barrett. You have John Gallagher Jr., who plays Christian. You have Costa Ronan. You see him on a whole bunch of stuff too. He played Nikolai. He played in, what was it? Oh, he played in The Americans. He played in Endgame. He played in Homeland. So when I saw his face, I was like, gosh, I know this guy. And he has a Russian accent. And I'm like, you see him in everything that's Russian. And so is the next guy, who is Pilu Abstek. I don't know how you say the name, ASB. And then the A and the E are connected. And then the K.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's isn't it?
Is that how you say it? Yeah, it's Danish
like
too.
Whatchamacallit's son's name is Elon Musk.
Oh, okay. So it's like Ashbeck, maybe something like that. But anyway, Pillow. So anyway, those are the characters. And again, he's somebody that you've seen before as well. He has been in, let me see, Ghost in the Shell, The Hidden Strike, The Hijack
He's
Thing.
The bad guy from off of. He's one of the bad guys from Game of Thrones. He's the Greyjoy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, so those are your 6 characters, your cast of characters right there. And so the movie starts off with America sending astronauts up to the International Space Station.
What year is this?
This, I guess it's 2023 because that's when this movie was filmed. So I don't think they did it like it was
like back and forth.
Nope. It was just regular old astronauts going to the ISS. And so what ends up happening is that they're on their way up there, and it's really just the 2 characters of Ariana DeBose, so Kira Foster, and then you have Chris Messina. So both of them are going up there, who plays Gordon. So Kira and Gordon are going up there. Christian's already up there as a U.S. person, right? And so they're going to meet them. Now, the International Space Station in real life has Americans on there and Russians on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Russians are...
That's why it's international.
Yep, exactly. So both of them are on there, on the space station, right? And so they get on the space station and, they're getting acclimated to being with zero gravity. People are telling them, oh, this, because it's both, like, it was the girl's first time going to the what do you call it? The
space?
Space. Yeah, the space. I was going to say the space station, but I was like, I was starting with the wrong word.
Without gravity.
Yeah, exactly. So going somewhere without gravity. So she was like, oh, how do you do this? How do you drink water? How do you do, like you open up your water and it just starts floating out the top. So you can't do that, so they're showing you all the little tricks of the trade. So she's working as a doctor with mice, right? So she's working with these mice and trying to test something with the mice. And then she's starting to realize that some of the mice have been dying. Some things are going on. Like some weird stuff is happening. And one of the Russian people is a doctor. So you're like, is he going in there? Is he messing with stuff? Like, is he trying to sabotage the U.S. testing? Just all these kind of things, right? And so what ends up happening is as they are on this ship, on this space station, all of a sudden, one of them looks out the window at Earth and they're just admiring how beautiful Earth is and everything is great. And then they're just like, something just looked like it blew up on Earth.
Oh, wow.
Which means it would have to be nuclear if you're seeing it from space, right?
Okay.
So they're just like, it's not like it's a hurricane or something where you can see the big circle or something. This is like something red and big and like it looked crazy.
Oppenheimer.
Potentially, right? So then, like, one of them's looking and they're like, hey, American people, like, can you look out the window for a second and just see, like,
but was it
if
in
you're
America?
looking up this? You couldn't really, you just saw that something was happening on Earth, right? And so, and it was interesting because it looked, I can't remember exactly if it looked like it was more America or where, but I just know they just showed outside and you could see something red and then you could see something else red and then you could see something else red. So it's like some attack looks like it's happening, right? And so they're on there and they're just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So as they're looking out the window, they're like, okay, we got to tell them too, like, what is happening here? Something is going on. So everybody's looking out and everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on. So you have the Russians who are talking on their computers to their Russian people, and some of it's in their, it's in their language. You have the Americans, hey, breaker 19 coming in, 10-4, whatever it is. I don't know. But
You sound like you
a CB truck driver.
I was saying, right? You watching, what is it, Smokey and the Bandit?
Right, exactly. But they're trying to come through like, Houston, do we have a problem? Yeah. Like, what's going on? And nobody can get through.
So it's like, there's no Houston.
Nobody can get through, right? So then it's like,
so the Russians can't get through either?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nobody can get through to anybody.
So all telecommunications are down.
It seems like it, right? So then at some point, all of a sudden, a message comes through. And the message comes through for the Americans.
Is it Morse code? How does it come through?
And the message comes through and says, basically, do not let the Russians know this, but there's been an attack, and you need to take over the International Space Station by any means necessary.
Oh, wow.
So then that's really what the whole movie is about.
But yeah, because we're as U.S. we are not supposed to like the Russians, correct?
Supposedly,
because they're supposed to be separate. Like we are not in cahoots.
Correct.
So y'all got y'all's people, we got our people.
Right. So that's
what's so weird. It's like that the space station would be like that because you would think that they're going to sabotage anything that we do.
Right. But I think what it was is, I guess, with that rush to space and everybody's trying to get to space and all of that.
Yeah.
Somehow they have it. Now, it could be fictionalized. I didn't really research it. I thought that they had said, because you know how it's like at the beginning of a movie and they say, with such and such and such. Things that, like they had the words up and it was like, so the U.S. and Russia share the International Space Station, blah, blah, blah. So I just took it as facts because that's how they put it in there. But it could also be like Fargo, where it's like, this is a true story and we have, changed the names to protect the innocent. But we've also projected the names to, like for those who have passed and didn't make it through. And then also, it could be fake kind of thing. And every time Fargo starts like that for the series, not the movie, none of it's based on a true story. One of them has aliens in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it can't be based on a true. Well, I mean, I guess it could, but it isn't. So, but anyway, so yeah. So does it say if they truly do share? I know she's researching at this moment, but.
So it says the International Space Station is a large space station assembled and maintained in a low Earth orbit by collaboration of 5 space agencies.
Oh, okay.
So it's NASA, Roscosmos.
Okay.
JAXA.
Oh, that's Japan. So Japan, Russia, probably.
ESA, ESA.
I don't know.
Maybe Europe.
Maybe.
And CSA. Maybe China.
Maybe China. Yeah. Well, no. Interesting. So it is multiple. So again, international. So in this instance, it must be that just the Russians and the Americans were on the space station. Yeah. The other folks were not there for this particular event. And so, but the whole movie is around the premise of, okay, now that you know that something is going on, and they didn't get into a whole lot of specifics, but basically it sounds like you said World War III is going on Earth, where things, and it ended up being when they looked out there, like you could see like one part of the Earth, this was going on, in the other part of the Earth, that was going on. So you kind of then start putting together like, ooh, like nuclear things are happening.
And Russia's
on
seeing
both
this
sides.
happen, or they're not?
Everybody's seeing it happen, but I don't know if everybody was putting together what they were seeing happen. Like, what is going on? Like, is this some kind of like I think they thought that it was something catastrophic, like the Earth is blowing up and we may never be able to get home and see our kids.
I would have thought if I saw anything on Earth blowing up that I could see from space, I would have been like, so let me go now and get my food and like put it to the side because everybody's going to be trying to steal my food. Because
because you're thinking that we're stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck. Everything is blowing up. How am I going to get back down there? How do I even know where I'm supposed to go to? Is it still there?
Exactly. Like who's still there and who's going to help and who's going to be able to help you land and the whole 9 yards, right? Yep, exactly. So what ends up happening is, without giving too much away, they don't know if the Russians got the same communication or if their things were taken out and therefore they don't. So therefore it's like, okay, are they like, you start looking at people different, right? So you're looking at the Russians now and you're like, are they moving different? Are they saying things different? Are they huddling together? Yeah. Like, what's going on? But then you're trying not to huddle together and try to talk about things because you don't want, if they do know, we don't want them to know that we know that they know. Yeah, but then it's like, if they're offering me a drink of their whiskey, do I want to drink it or are they trying to poison me? You see what I'm saying? So it's like this whole like tense situation of being in this small confined space station and just knowing that when you go to even do a mission to keep the space station operating, like, ooh, something went bad, let's do that. Okay, did it really go bad? Or are they just trying to get you out there so that way they can do something and then you're no longer here?
You're going to be like, what was that movie with Sandra Bullock?
Well, you had Gravity and Gravity.
Yeah, so like Gravity. She was just out there. Just that's it.
Yep. So it's like, what do you do? Right. And so, and what does that even look like? And then if people start picking off people one by one, who's going to be left?
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah. And do you turn on yourself? I mean, on each other, all those kind of things. You know what I mean? Like,
because you don't know if somebody's a spy.
You don't know if somebody's a spy. You also don't know what other people's agendas are. Like if somebody is like, no, I really need to get home by any means necessary is by any means necessary. So I will kill every single person up on here if I have to, because I need to get home to my wife, my kids, or my dog or whatever, you know? And then you can have somebody else like, no, we can figure this out. We can all get along. We can all make this work. Like, let's just not go to such extremes. So you have all these different power dynamics and things going into play with this. But I, pretty much enjoyed it. ISS on Showtime. And yeah, I won't say who knew what about what, but I found it pretty entertaining. Yeah. And I didn't feel like it was a long watch either. Like Axel Foley was like literally almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was literally.
That's why I didn't watch it, because I was like, I'm tired.
I didn't even know it was going to be. I put it on like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch it. And then as I was watching, I was like, this is a long movie. They ain't even gotten to the big thing yet. Yeah. And then I looked and I paused and I was like, it's 1 hour and 36 minutes. And we haven't even gotten to like, okay, it's about to end. Like it wasn't even about to end. Well, the part where you have to clash and do whatever and then you can end it. So all that hadn't happened yet. So I was like, this is long. So anyway, but that's what I had. So what do you have, sis?
So I have another documentary.
Okay.
This one actually was also on Netflix.
Okay.
And this one is Tell Them You Love Me.
Oh, I did see something about that, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, God. Let me tell you. All right, so I'm watching.
Somebody was talking to me about this one.
I think I was talking.
Were you talking to me about it? Oh, okay. I felt like somebody else might have too somewhere. But
okay, so this is actually a documentary about real life people. So, so you have Derek, who is he has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Right. You have John, who is his brother, his older brother. Mm-hmm. And then you have Daisy, who is his mom. Mm-hmm. So that's a single mother, the brother, and then Derek.
Yep.
Now, Derek, they said, like, he was a normal kid until after a while he started to not. They were saying he had a lot of seizures. And then after the seizures, he started to not really talk or do anything. Okay. And then, that's when they found out, what was going on with him. So he cannot speak. He can't communicate. Sometimes he'll, get out like a moan that sounds like a name. That they're just like, we think that's what he said, but we're not sure. And his brother John's in college, and he wants to go into the field to know everything about his brother. Like, this is what I'm going to do in my life. Like, I need to know information about, this stuff. In his class, there is a teacher. What was her name? Oh, man, Ann Stubblefield.
Okay.
It was the professor. So they watched this thing. And he's like, "Yo!" After the class over, he was like, "Hey, some of those people on there," and it was a class about it was a video about autism. He was like, "Some of those people on there remind me of my brother. Is there any way you can give me more information on it?" And she was like, "You know what? There is something called like assisted." Something I can't remember what it is, but it's like basically helping you be able to write stuff down.
Okay.
So it's a video about a young lady, and she can't talk or anything, but she has a keyboard and she just types everything and she gets it out. So it's like a Stephen Hawking. Yeah,
yeah,
she's
she
like
can still talk. Okay.
Yeah, she's like a I don't know. She has some degree in something.
So the savant.
Yeah.
I think that's what
So that was what made John just be like, oh, maybe my brother can do that.
Yeah.
So when Ann Stubblefield was like, oh yeah, I'll help him with this and with that. So she's talking to Derek, and then she ends up realizing that he wants to go by D-Man.
Okay.
But she keeps saying in the documentary, "Demand." I don't understand. You said D-Man one time.
Right. But
Then
now
the
you're gonna call
rest
him
of the
Demand?
documentary, you say "Demand."
Okay.
So yeah, so like I don't know what Demand. What do you? Well, lady, you just said D-Man,
Right.
And you just said where D-Man came from.
Right.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's working with him. She's helping him like to be able to type stuff. But then things gets a little weird.
Okay.
She said that in one of his classes, because he was going to like I don't know if it was a tech school, college, or whatever. He was taking some classes, and he had a question. And he goes and he's trying to type. But now remember, she has his arm and his hand and stuff like that trying to help him be able to touch the keys because his
motor skills.
Yeah, it's not on point.
Okay.
And with this, so this is what she said. He said, "Hey, I want you to say this for me to this teacher." And then as she's reading what he said, but it's not exactly what he said, word for word, she said. She changed it up. And then he typed back to her, how he, like, that was disrespectful. How dare you do that? If I tell you something, you say what I'm supposed to say.
Oh, so he is communicating that way.
That's what was said.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. This is so much in this. That's what was said. Then it goes further.
So she doesn't have to help him, or she does have to help him?
She does have to help him.
But he's like, you're helping me to put
To
your
speak,
narrative out there,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like you just said whatever you wanted to say when I said I need you to say this.
Gotcha.
And then she was like, and when he did that, it just lit something up inside of me. And now she's in love. You got a whole husband and 2 kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
and she's in love with Derek.
She just likes chocolate because her husband is a black man as well.
Okay. And so she is now saying, because he corrected me and he just stood up for himself.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm in love with
She said they had
this
great
guy.
conversations and everything, and things were not going good with her husband and different stuff like that. Now, she
just wants somebody that she feels she can control. But I digress.
So it keeps going on, and she ends up then being like, it was one Sunday that. Well, actually, I'm gonna tell you this part. She's supposed to be going to church with them so she can, see how he interacts and stuff like that, and be able to help him out. And so they're driving to church. Gospel music's on.
Okay.
And Anne just decides, you know what? I'm going to change this to classical music. Demand does not want to hear this. He likes classical music.
Okay.
And the mother was like, we
when?
going to church. He's listening to gospel. Bam, she turns it back on. Then, the brother and, so John and Derek are sitting in the back seat, and he said, I remember, that he was like, we were joking around, and I was like, hey man, I can't wait for us to get back to the house and drink a beer. And then Ann said, he actually prefers red wine. He doesn't really like beer.
Okay.
And he's like, what? He's never even had red wine.
Yeah, how does he
like,
know
how does
what
he
it
know?
is?
Yeah, any
to
of
know
that.
he likes it.
So
did she give it to him?
That's what I'm saying. So and then from there, it was like more things were starting to crumble. It wasn't making sense. Like, why are you saying that he says this? Why are you saying he says that? The family was saying that he wasn't even typing. They were trying to hold his hand, stuff like that. He couldn't do it himself.
He wasn't even doing anything.
So she goes and she falls in love with this man, and she ends up, I would guess, taking advantage of him.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she made it seem was that he had typed out, "Take your clothes off, I want to see your breast," type thing. But then the brother and the mother's like, but he don't text nothing. He don't type nothing. So
Right. How would he say that?
How would he say that? And I mean, there's more into that goes into the whole sexual aspect of it. But she just, in her mind,
Yeah.
she was like, he's such a smart man. He's so knowledgeable and blah, 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 blah. But they were thinking, she's typing for him. She's subconsciously moving his hand around to type words.
Yeah, to say what
that's that's not actually what he wants to say. Even when it came to his schoolwork, because it's like they're literally saying like he has no mental capacity. He's still a child in his head.
Right.
And her mother was actually working with a lot of disabled people. So with her mother doing that, she grew up seeing all of this. Okay. She grew up seeing the different disabled people, and she would always try to do different things to see what it felt like to be disabled. So she said she was a little girl. She used to take a blindfold and tie it around her head and then try to walk around to see what it felt like to be blind, or like put her legs like in something, and then try to figure out how she'd be able to get around if she was paralyzed type thing. So it's like she was, I guess, fetishizing that in a way, I would think. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there's more to it where it's like, it makes me think, well, one person said this, like he was actually doing the typing, so maybe he was doing the typing, but then like everything else is like, nah, he wasn't doing that typing. So I can't say for sure.
Can't confirm or deny.
Yes, but she did actually get convicted, have to go to jail, and I think she was supposed to be serving for a while, and she got out in like 2 years. And now she's just starting all over again.
So is she anywhere near him?
She's away from everybody.
Okay.
Like she lost her job.
I was going to say she lost her
everything.
husband.
She lost her husband, her kids, her job. Now she said that she's just trying to find another job now. I think she's like a server or something like that. But because it was so public with her case, because it was on TV and everything.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this before.
I saw some like video of it
a long time ago.
But now that she's like, if this is something that was in a small town where everybody knows everybody, and now it's in court, now it's like the whole state knows who you are. So no matter where you go and get a job, they'll be like, oh yeah, you're the lady.
You're the lady who was with the guy who had a disability and a child, mindset, and you took advantage.
Yeah, you took advantage of him. So the mother and it, like, you could see her anger, you could see and feel the anger from the brother. It was just, they were just like, we don't understand what she thought and why she thought we was just going to go along with this.
Right, exactly.
You crazy lady.
So she sounds like they didn't talk about her own mental capacity in the documentary.
No, they definitely should have.
Yeah, I would think that they would. I don't even know if they
even went through the mental thing, because, like, she's supposed to be such a tenure professor at.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, you.
But then it's they don't care. It's like, all right, either she did it or she didn't, and we don't care why she did it or why she didn't do it. Like, it's just like, she either did or she didn't. If she did, boom, she's going to jail. If she didn't, then she's free. They don't care about anything else. Oh, your brain's messed up? Oh, yeah, we don't do that over here. No, our rehabilitation is 6x9, sell out on the yard. That's it. So, but it is good if just be careful watching it, because if it could be triggering to some people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So, but it is a good documentary, and it makes you realize that people are out here that are not fully medicated that should be.
Yes, so, I wonder if she's on any now.
I don't know. Probably not. But, so that is Tell Them You Love Me, also on Netflix.
Okay, you are Netflix committed this time around.
Yeah, because, Netflix has really good documentaries, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
Yeah.
Hulu has some good ones too. I feel like
I feel like some Hulu documentaries
they miss some things.
Yeah,
they miss some things. So I get it.
I feel like Hulu documentaries are the college kids that are just starting to make documentaries, but then like Netflix and like Max and HBO Max,
they're the ones who
they're the ones who are like, we have 17 different camera angles, so we have a 360 view. Yeah, those are the ones that are like that.
Gotcha. Yep, I see. That does make sense. And Max does have some good documentaries too.
So what do you have next?
All right, so I have, again, because I said either Netflix or Showtime, so I'll go with Netflix. Anyone But You. So I don't know if you saw that. It's like a rom-com.
Yeah, I think I did
it's like a rom-com movie that's been out there for a while. And so I, thought it was cute. So that's why I was like, all right, let me go ahead. I'm not a rom-com person at all.
I like rom-coms.
Nope, not me. I can watch a couple of them, but I don't know. It's the exact same thing all over again every single time, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, but there's funny moments in it.
It does have some funny moments in it, and it's like Hallmark movies or Lifetime movies. I'm just like, okay, enough's enough.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't watch a Lifetime or a Hallmark.
I'm just like, oh, my God. Okay.
So, I didn't watch this.
Who did her wrong? What guy's she going to meet in a flannel shirt?
Exactly. It's Christmas time.
Is it Christmas?
He got her.
Is there snow on the ground?
He's proposing and he's known her for a day.
Yeah, exactly. Or is there some type of a farmer or whatever, because he's got to be a blue collar worker,
and he has to have a dead wife.
And the rich one is, the one who is a jerk.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
So you got to just go with the average.
But the country guy, he's taking care of his wife.
He's taking
I laid her to rest, and I miss her every day, and I love her.
You are silly.
But I have eyes for you. Yeah, that's
you were my high school sweetheart from Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about you every day.
Oh my God! So it's the same thing over and over and over again. Or the woman's been down and out, and she's upset, and she's sworn off men forever, and then this guy in his flannel shirt wins the day.
They need to make a rom-com that's like, and now the lady's single forever.
Yeah, exactly. Something that's just like, no, she chose herself.
Yeah, exactly. And she married
she's 100% happy.
Yeah, she's happy.
And she became a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's living her best life.
And she is now part of Fenty with Rihanna.
Yeah, or they need to have it where she actually okay, I don't need the man. I'm going to have my own kid because I just wanted a kid.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I went not to that sperm bank, but somewhere else. And I have my child. I'm happy, got my dog, living my best life, don't need a man. Next. But I guess that's too much what real women have to deal with to make it
so nobody wants to watch their lives on TV.
No. Exactly. All right.
You really want me to watch you wake up, get ready for work, go to work, and come home?
And stop by a grocery store? No, nobody's paying for that. That's not
Did she just say, what am I eating for dinner?
Right. That's life.
Yeah, that's just regular life.
All right. We went down a whole spiral.
We did,
so
but
apologies, people. But I have Anyone But You, so romantic comedy, 1 hour, 44 minutes, since we were talking about how long some stuff is, so I figured I'd throw that out there. But we have Sydney Sweeney, who plays Beatrice. This girl, can I just say, I feel like I have watched her grow up her entire life.
She was on,
she's been on The Handmaid's Tale.
She's on Europa?
I
mean, Euphoria? I said Europa. What the heck?
I don't
she's
watch.
Euphoria.
Yeah, I think she's in Euphoria. But I swear I have seen her ever since she was on Dead Like Me. She was like the baby sister in Dead Like Me back in the day. And I'm like, oh my God, I've watched her grow up since she was 15 years old. So it's so crazy to me, when I saw her on Saturday Night Live or in all these movies, and she's being an adult and grown up, and I'm like, not little Sydney. But anyway, little Sydney. So anyway, but she's the romantic interest, I guess you would say. And then you have Glenn Powell, who is Ben. He's the other romantic interest. He's in everything now. Can I just say, because he's in the new Twister movie.
He is.
He's been in something else. Was it Top Gun? I can't remember, but he's been in everything.
I think they're trying to make it he is the
he was in Top Gun, Hitman, Twister.
He's gonna
Set
be
It
the
Up,
next
The Dark Knight,
Brad Pitt,
Hidden Figures, Devotion. He's been in everything with everybody. So so he's the hot guy. Right, you're right. It's he is the next Brad Pitt, so to speak. But anyway, then you have Let's see, Dermot Mulroney, he's in this as Leo. You have Darren Barnett, who is Jonathan. Charlie Fraser is Margaret. So you have all these different characters, but a long story short about the actual show itself. So you have Beatrice and Ben, and they actually have like a little meet cute type of situation. They're at a coffee shop, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom. And they're like, well, you have to pay for a coffee before you can go to the bathroom. So then she's like, I'm not waiting in this long line for a coffee to get to the bathroom. So the guy realizes, oh, honey, what coffee did you want? So he's pretending that it's his girl or wife or whatever, so that way he can buy her the coffee so that she can go to the bathroom. Okay. So that's how they meet. So when she comes out, she's like, thanks, bye. And he's like, hold up, wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. So he's like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, let's chat. So next thing you know, they just spent the whole day together, talking, enjoying each other's company, laughing, going to one of their homes. I can't remember. I think it was his house. Just hanging out, right? Having a great, great day. Then all of a sudden, they actually end up, quote unquote, sleeping together, meaning literal sleeping. Like they just fell asleep. Right. They fell asleep talking. And so the next morning, she's getting her stuff together and sneaking out. And then he wakes up and he's like, okay, I thought we had a connection. That's weird that she snuck out. So then she ends up, when she's walking home, and her friend is like, oh, she's talking to her friend on the phone, and her friend's like, why did you sneak out? Like, you don't have anything to be ashamed of if you literally just fell asleep. Like, why are you sneaking out? And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so conditioned to like, you hook up with somebody and you just sneak out the next morning and you don't know if it's going to be anything serious or not. So she turns around, she goes back to his apartment. At this point, his friend is in there, and his friend is just like, yeah, so what was going on with you and the girl? I stayed away, you had the whole place to yourself, whatever. And he was like, oh, she was just, whatever, like it's no big deal. Yeah. He didn't feel that way, but he said that to his friend.
Yeah, because he got to be a man.
Exactly. So as he's saying that to the friend, that's when she was standing in the doorway getting ready to come in and hears it. So she's like, oh, I thought we had a connection. So he wakes up thinking, I thought we had a connection, but she snuck out. So I guess not. And then she comes back and she's like, oh, I thought we had a connection, but he's talking like it wasn't that big of a deal. All right, we're done. So then next thing you know,
it's already toxic. But go ahead,
it's got some interesting things happening here. So then what ends up happening is that she ends up going to this party that her sister is throwing because her sister is getting married. Okay. So they're just going and hanging out. And so she's going to hang out with her sister. And so when she's hanging out with her sister, she meets her sister's fiance. Okay. And fiance. And so it's a lesbian couple, and you come to find out that the fiance is Ben's best friend. Oh, okay. So now they're meeting again.
Of course.
And they're just all obviously very rude to each other.
Of course.
So then it's like, oh, how are you? Did you sneak out of this? Are you going to sneak out of this club too? Okay. And then it's like, what are you talking about? Well, obviously you don't care about things because that's just how you are and blah, blah, blah.
This movie sounds annoying.
It's a little interesting to say the least. So it's all of this it all comes from a place of a misunderstanding. Like instead of just communicating.
Yeah, just talking.
And using your words. Yeah. Instead, it's like, oh, my feelings were hurt. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to treat you like crap. Oh, my feelings were hurt. So I'm not going to say anything. And I'm going to treat you like crap. And then they realize, well, these two are getting married. We're going to have to be around each other for the wedding, potentially the flight getting there. And the wedding was like some destination wedding. But then also like being in the same hotel or space, being in the wedding together, like all these things, we just got to figure out how to make it seem like it's working.
And I feel like that's not hard because a lot of us work with people that we can't stand and we go through the whole 8 to 12 hour day dealing with that person.
For life. Yeah. I mean, like for years potentially. So how can you not do that for just a weekend?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, it was hard to do.
Yeah, I figured that.
It was hard to do.
How many pool scenes was it?
Only a couple. It had to be a pool scene, right?
Something slow motion taking something off.
So what ends up happening, it's funny, because then you have where the parents because they don't know anything about Ben and Beatrice. So therefore the parents of Beatrice invite her ex-boyfriend to the wedding because they're like, well, he knows your sister. So of course we want him here, but they don't want him here for that. They want him here because they want the two of them to get together, and Beatrice had broken up with him. So then that's a situation. Then you have where the other piece is that his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend was friends with, of course, his best friend who's getting married. So therefore, the best friend who's getting married to the sister actually invited his ex-girlfriend to the wedding. So you see her on the beach in her little teeny tiny two-piece, and she's Australian. So she's got the accent, she's got a body. Of course, Beatrice is very jealous of seeing that, but she can't let it on because, of course, she's not trying to show that she's jealous. So there's a lot that's going on with this particular movie. It goes back and forth a lot of different ways. You don't know. It could be a lot like, hey, you already know they're going to end up together. Or it could be like the movie Breakup, where they don't. So
I thought Breakup was actually a good movie.
I like the Breakup.
Come on the kick drum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come. Yep, exactly. He's just like, keep saying it. And they're like, nobody's coming on the kick drum.
Nobody's doing it.
That one was fun. Yeah. I loved it. But yeah, and then there's all this way of them like saying, oh, the ex-girlfriend, he seems like he might still be in love, but then the boyfriend, she's not. So they're like, maybe what we can do, because the ex-girlfriend's there with her new boyfriend, so can we act like we like each other and act like we're in love, so that way we can trick my parents into leaving me alone so that they don't keep pushing the new guy, my old boyfriend on me. But then maybe it'll make my ex-girlfriend jealous, want to leave her new guy and come to me. Yeah. So then they were thinking it could be like this draw, like at magnets, push
exactly.
away or attract, kind of scenario. And so anyway, does the manipulation work? Does anybody get fooled? Only time will tell. So that is, let's see, what did I call? Oh, here it is. Anyone But You. What was it called? Yeah. Anyone But You on Netflix. So it was cute. For a person like me who's not really into rom-coms, it was cute. So, yep. So anyway, that is it for this week's episode of Sestra-Tainment. I hope you all had an amazing week this week, and we'll have an amazing one next week. Yeah. Take care, enjoy, stay cool. That's what should have been a hot topic is heat.
It's hot.
Heat, hurricanes, all of that, floods, the whole 9 yards. So everybody stay safe, stay cool, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.